My name is Angela Goods. I'm here to talk about today what I learned in my semester-long activity learning project. In my chapter 1, I learned that you should hire people who can perform well consistently with this concept, and you have less employee turnover. I also learned that there are very specific laws you have to comply with when you're going through the hiring process. I learned that effective staffing is the cornerstone of successful human resource management. It lays the foundation for an organizational future, performance, and survival. I also recommend that the company continue to hire forward thinkers who are rule breakers and game changers in the world of business. They should continue to hire individuals who have impeccable service, skills, and generally care about the company. They should continue to create an environment of growth and true enrichment for all employees. What I recommend are that the company add or do differently. I think in this chapter, Mike should not keep the unhired candidates' information in the database. They should look for candidates as needed. They should make sure the candidate can pass all necessary tests before getting the job. I don't think they should be going around trying to recruit new hires from other stores in the mall. SLALP Chapter 2, I learned that staffing is treated as a cost, not an investment. I learned it is a good idea to hire within. I learned that new hires, some of them may bring in new ideas and talent. I think the company should continue to have flexible workforce. I think the company should continue to hire the highest ability individuals. I think the company should continue to pursue a proactive approach. I think the flexible workers or contingent workers should have equal amount of job security as those in the core workforce. I think the HR department should give out recruiting brochures rather than rely on email to recruit. Maybe the company should stop treating staffing as a cost and treat it as if it was an investment. SLALP Chapter 3. I learned that there was different types of employees: explicit employment control, implicit employment contracts, and at-will employment. I learned an alternative to contingent work is outsourcing the work to another firm. I learned about basis for employment lawsuits. There are about 4 different bases for this. I think the company should continue to make sure the needs of the customers are met. I think the company should continue to aim to provide excellent customer service. I think the company should make sure they promote good customer service all the time. I think the company should offer skills that are needed to fulfill the position, such as problem-solving skills and listening skills, as part of their orientation. I think the company should have the interviewers trained on the information that is protected and how to question the job candidates. I think the company should avoid or stop the trade secret litigation that could take place after an employee is hired by a competitor. SLALP Chapter 4. I learned there are different job analysis methods that vary as to how job information is collected. I learned writing an effective job description can be as much an art as a science. I learned job values and desired job rewards differ across individuals and change over time. I think they should continue to make sure new hires find the rewards offered by the job and organization attractive. I think they should continue to let the promotions be within 18 months. I think they should continue to collect critical incidents to identify the behaviors that differentiate very good from poor job performance. I think the company should use different purposes for different job analysis techniques. I think the company should add conducting job analysis to their hiring process. I think the company should add essential functions during the hiring process, which are fundamental duties or tasks of a position. SLALP Chapter 5. I learned that it means to identify the firm's business strategy. What it means to identify the firm's business strategy. I learned for some organizations, business demands are seasonal and predictable. I learned for many companies, especially global ones, exchange rate forecasts are useful for forecasting business activity. The company should continue to let the time frame for a business activity forecast is the discretion of the organization. The company should continue to use strategic staffing required the firms to keep their fingers on the pulse of their labor markets. The company should continue to use forecasting the external labor market. I think the company should add seasonal forecasts to their organization for Mother's Day in May, as well as they do in November through January. I think the company should use additional factors that could also indicate changing demand for the organization's products and services and the need for changes in the workforce. I think the companies should add a staffing ratio, which is a mathematical way of calculating the number of employees a firm needs to produce certain levels of output. SLALP Chapter 6. I learned when creating a sourcing plan, a firm should profile desirable employees. I learned that Boolean searches allow the inclusion or exclusion of documents containing certain words through the use of operators such as and, not, and or. I learned the skills and talents of internal recruits are better known than external hires. I think they should continue to let current employees have first pick at the new jobs and promote within. I think they should continue to have external recruiting to bring in new talent. I think they should continue to have job and trade fairs. These events can bring in multiple employers to meet recruiters at one time. I think the company should do employee referrals because it involves the employees in the hiring process and they may not make a good choice. I think the leadership development plan should include the employee and the employer. I think company should use the employee development training for employer training as well. SLALP Chapter 7. I learned spillover effects are the indirect or unintended consequences of action. I learned an important goal of recruitment is to give every applicant a positive feeling about the organization. I learned that a recruiter is one of the most important players in the hiring process. I think the company should continue to let the company recruiters always treat resumes and employment inquiries with respect and respond to them quickly. I think that the company should continue to let the recruiters sell the company to the recruits. I think the company should continue to match the recruiter to the targeted applicant. I think the company should do away with signaling, whereas the recruit the impression that they are the best candidate for the job. I think the company should not use external recruiters because hiring external recruiters is generally more expensive. I think the company should do away with labor markets because surplus and shortages of talent can have a large impact on how effective recruiters are.